Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing some Demi color. We're going to be talking more today about using Demi color to tone and sculpt the face. So learning how to tone the skin and sculpt the face is a little bit more of an advanced step, but once you start learning your Demi color and you want to really learn how to enhance your complexion, this is the next step. This is my Demi palette. As you can see, it's just a lot of really vibrant makeup shades, and I have my color wheel right here because we're going to be using color science. And I have a lot of videos on this topic. If you're new and you want to learn more about the fundamentals, I will tag them below. And you can always check out my website, erinwygantbeauty.com. It has basically everything you need to know in the Demi color tab. So when you're doing a full face with Demi color, you need to do things in a specific order. Number one is always add color first. So sculpting and blush, always start there. Second step would be toning, which is what I'm going to show you today. So you're going to tone large areas of the face, get everything ready. And then the last step is actually going to be filtering your distractions away. So it feels a little backwards because with traditional makeup, we're used to just applying foundation and concealing and then adding color last. But with Demi color, we actually add the color first because then we'll get our sort of final product and we'll know what we're working with color-wise, and then we can filter away any remaining distractions. The toning and sculpting and blush aspect of Demi color tends to actually hide a lot of the things in certain areas of the face that we don't like seeing, and therefore you end up needing to do less filtering in the end. So that is the order that we do things. It's a little backwards, but once you get used to it, it's just autopilot. You'll know what to do. So toning and sculpting the face is where you're using Demi color on larger areas of the face. Normally when you're filtering distractions, it's like teeny tiny little spots, like pinpoint concealing. But when you're toning and sculpting, you're basically altering the colors in your face in larger areas of the face. I'm going to start with sculpting. So this is adding color. I'm going to be using these colors right here. As you can see, these are a little bit more dark, neutral versions than these bright pastel colors. This one right here is NR, which is a neutral red. This one is NO, which is neutral orange. So these actually add color to the face. They are a sheer product. They don't have any coverage. In fact, no Demi colors have coverage. One way that's really easy to understand this is you want to think about Demi color as like you're staining a wood floor. You're tinting it, you're adding a sheer wash of color to the wood, but you can still see the wood through it in the wood grain. Traditional makeup you would think of more as like you're painting a floor. You're using opaque paint and you're covering the floor and you can't see the floor through it anymore. So Demi color is more like a stain, and you want to think about it that way. When you're applying Demi color, you always have to think about the colors in the skin underneath, because the Demi shades work with the colors in your skin for a final outcome. So you always have to be looking at your face. Look at your face, look at the skin. And your skin can change colors from day to day, so you just always need to be looking and in tune with that. So let's sculpt. This is basically contouring, but I'm going to be using my Demi shades. These neutral shades right here are actually limited edition. They're on sale right now because the Demi line is being condensed and a lot of the shades are being removed. So if you want to try these types of shades, you'll need to get them now before they're gone. Otherwise, if they're already gone and this video is a little bit old and these aren't available anymore, what you'll want to do is use cream bronzers and contours to create the same effect. Okay, so this is my bare face. I have nothing on my face. I did my brows with my Cola contour and my brow wax, just to get that out of the way. So this is my bare face. First thing I'm going to do is just look at my skin. So I'm going to be sculpting like under my cheekbones and like my forehead and like on my nose, that kind of thing, just like I would normally apply with my contour. On my face, like, do you see this area right here that almost looks yellowish? And like I have my melasma right here, and I just generally have a lot of excess green in my skin. It's very prevalent throughout my entire face. Anything that you see that's yellow looking, like right around my mouth, or right here, that's all excess green in the skin. I know it looks kind of yellowish, but it's actually excess green. So I'm going to be using a lot of red Demi shades to counteract that green, which in Demi world, that's like pink, or this neutral red shade right here, these two right here. So to sculpt, I'm going to start with this one right here. This is NR, my neutral red sculpt. And I'm just going to apply that like I would a contour. I'm putting that underneath my cheekbone. And you see how sheer it is. But what it's going to do is it's going to create a natural looking shadow because the red is going to combine with the excess green in my skin to create more of a neutral shade. So it just really defines my cheekbone without barely using any product. Now I'm doing the same thing all on my forehead. Like right on the sides of my forehead here, I have a lot of hyperpigmentation and melasma, so the red neutral really balances that out. I'm going to switch gears now, and I'm actually going to use this shade right here. This is neutral orange. So I have a little bit of darkness around my forehead and hairline, and I really like using this orange shade because it also adds more warmth too. So it looks more like of a bronzed, glowy look. So I focus that on my forehead here. Now I'm going to sculpt my nose a little bit. I'm going to take some of that neutral red because as you see, like right here, it's green again on my nose, like right here. And this is where I want to be applying my contour shade. So I look wherever I'm going to be applying my contour at the skin, and that's how I choose my sculpt shade. Now I'm going to switch to that orange shade. And I'm going to apply that under the tip of my nose because there's already a lot of shadowing. I got too much. I just kind of, you got to be careful. You don't want to see color on your face. You really want it to look neutral. Okay, so the nose is done. Now I'm going to sculpt around my lips a little bit. And as you can see, this is where I have the most of my discoloration on my face, is right around my mouth, right here. It's all excess green, all right here. So what I'm going to do is use my red, my neutral red. And I just want to create some definition around my lips. This is obviously optional. You don't have to do all of this. This is just my routine. I just like how it gives me that pouty lip. All right, so we're done with sculpting. Now I'm going to add more color and I'm going to do some blush. So I'm using this blush right here. It looks like black or purple. It's actually RV7. So this is a red violet and it's a level 7, so it's very pigmented. For blush, you want to choose something in the 5 or 7 range. Once again, a lot of the 5 and 7 range blushes will be limited edition and they're on sale right now, but they're going to be gone eventually. So you would just use any of the other Saint cream blushes that you like if those are out of stock. So one thing I want to note about Demi blush, I think a lot of times we're really used to getting rid of all the redness in our cheeks, all of it, all of our natural blush, and then we apply blush on top. So we use concealer and foundation to make our face skin colored, and then we add blush on top. And it's just very confusing. It just seems very redundant that we're doing all these layers and things to get rid of our natural blush and then adding blush again. So what I like to do is I like to pick a blush that's close to the shade of my natural rosiness, and I'm going to apply it selectively on my cheek around my natural redness, working with it rather than against it. So I'm just going to get some of that blush on my brush there, just a tiny bit. So I have the bulk of my natural rosiness on like the front of my cheeks is how I would describe it. And I want most of my blush to be sort of right in the middle, right between my mouth and my ear and back more. So what I'm going to do, I shouldn't have been touching my face. I got it all red. Okay, I'll just relax for a second. So I'm just going to apply this around that redness that already exists. And I'm barely applying anything, and like, look what a big difference that makes. Right on top of where I sculpted, blending up towards the ear. I know it's hard to do makeup this way where like I have all the things in my skin that I want to hide still visible, so it's like hard to envision the final result, but we'll get there. Trust the process. Okay, so we've done some blush. Now we are going to move on to toning. So any area of the face where you have a large area of discoloration is somewhere where you would want to tone. This is my wash brush. I'm going to use the small side of this, so it's kind of a medium-sized brush, but it'll get a larger area. So like I said before, my biggest area of concern with discoloration on my face is around my mouth. I have a lot of excess green like this. It really bothers me a lot. So I'm going to even that out by using pink, by using the complementary color of red, which is pink. So I'm going to use this shade right here. This is R1. So I'm just using the smallest amount of product possible, and I'm lightly fluffing that over any areas of green that I see. The great thing about Demi Color is instead of using a skin colored product, which you would need to use a lot of to get the effect that you want, I'm using color science and going straight for the excess color and addressing it directly. So that enables me to use a lot less product. This is going to be invisible on my skin. You won't be able to see it. Okay, that looks so much better. It looks more in balance with my natural skin tone and the rest of my face. I'm going to do the same thing on these areas of melasma that I have above each of my eyebrows, because I have these very dark areas, but around the dark areas is actually quite a large area of discoloration. And by doing this, it also minimizes the amount of filtering on my melasma that I'll have to do in a minute. One other place that I like to do this, and I notice this on a lot of people when I'm doing their makeovers, is a lot of people have a lot of excess green all around the eye socket. So I'm actually going to use this one right here. This is OR1. So this is pink, but it has a little bit of orange in it because there's a lot of darkness around the eye area, and this will just help with that as well. So I'm just using this OR1. And I'm just going all around sort of a wider swath around my eye area, but anywhere where I see that green. It just makes my whole eye area look brighter. And I'm going to do the same thing right here. I have some melasma. My biggest skin concern in general is hyperpigmentation and melasma. So that's what I focus on. Yours might be different, but I generally don't tone the redness, the natural redness in my skin. It doesn't really bother me, like the blushiness in my cheeks. I don't have terrible excess redness in my skin, but I'm going to show you today how I would deal with that because I know that's a major concern for so many people. So I'm going to use a smaller brush. This is my bright brush. I use this a lot. I'm going to use this smaller side. So when you see redness in the face, usually what that is excess violet. It's usually not true redness. If it was truly red, it would be something that's very inflamed or angry, like a new blemish or like a rash or something like that. Like a skin condition would, so that would be more of a true red, and you would need to use green to counteract that. But most of the time, most of the redness that we see in our skin that's bothering us is excess violet, and you'll want to use yellow for that instead of green. If you use green, it might actually make the situation darker because of the blue that's present in the green, and you don't want that. Also, in large areas of redness, there's usually darker points within the redness. So what I like to do is I like to tone down the overall excess violet first, then address the dark spots. So we're just going to tone a larger area first. I'm going to be using this one right here, yellow. This is Y1. So I'm just going to get a little bit of that, just a tiny, tiny bit. You can barely see it on my brush. And I'm just going to try to tone down some of the redness in my cheeks. And I'm mostly just focusing on where I don't want the redness, because I do want some blush over here, but I just want to tone down the front, the center of my face. That's what I'm gonna say, the center of my face with the redness. So I'm just using that yellow. I like to just kind of buff it on in circular motions very lightly with my brush. One little trick that's really helpful to getting a really light hand with your makeup is hold the brush further away, like at the end of the brush. It really enables you to have a light touch. It's like a little easy trick. And I feel like, as you can see, it just really just toned down that redness. The whole idea is that you just want to make it less distracting. You don't want to make your face colorless. That's not the idea. Your face is beautiful and all the colors that are present are beautiful. You just want to bring everything into balance where you want it, just so that it's not distracting. So that when you look at your face, you're not looking at the redness, you're just looking at your face. Okay, we're done with toning, sculpting, adding color, all of that. My face is basically done. This is going to be the final product of what my face looks like. Now we're going to just filter away any remaining distractions. So like I have little zits and spots that are still, my eye is being drawn to it. So what I want to do is erase those so that I'm not seeing them. I'm gonna be using a small brush for all of this. This is my Demi spot brush. You need a small makeup brush. I'm gonna go through this portion fairly quickly just because I have a lot of other videos that address how to filter. So I'm just gonna speed the video up and just finish the rest of my face. And I'll list the colors that I use down below. All right, here is the finished makeup look. It's really great because I don't have to use setting sprays or powders or anything like that. You can use powder if you'd like, but I like the natural glow that my skin has, so I'd rather not. I'm going to get really close. But I mean, I dare you, I defy you to discover any makeup on my face. It's invisible. It's incredible. There's nothing like it. It looks like I just look like this, which y'all saw me a few minutes ago. I did not look like this. But I really love using Demi Color to sculpt and tone and add color to the face because it really erased a lot of the things about my face that I wasn't in love with, but it doesn't hide it under a layer of foundation. So I'm really happy with it. It makes me feel more confident. It makes me feel like this is really my skin and my face. And I love that about it. So if this is a little overwhelming for you, if you're new to Demi color, maybe don't start trying to do toning right away. Maybe just learn how to filter your areas of concern and then move up towards toning when you're ready. If you need help picking out any of these colors, or if you have an area of your face that really bothers you, something that you can't cover with makeup, or that you want to learn how to use Demi to tone or sculpt or anything like that, just fill out my Demi color match form, which is linked down below, and I will email you some recommendations for colors that I think would work for those areas and where you should apply them. I am here to help you build your custom Demi palette. That's it for me today, guys. If you have any questions, just leave them down below or message me or email me or anything you'd like, and I will get back to you with some help. But that's it for today. I'm off to a Halloween party for my daughter, so I'm gonna head out, but I will see you guys soon, okay? Bye.